Oh, Megyn Kelly. Oh, Megyn Kelly. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I want reparations. I don't really care for anybody but Trump to win, but I want reparations. I really don't. It really makes no difference who gets in because, the game is the game. I didn't see it what I said. However, I am going to tell you this. One thing on Kamala Harris's behalf that I will give her for what she went through is she did go to a HBCU. That's a historically black college university. And the thing I'm going to say is about the ignorance of Megyn Kelly. Well, she got in trouble. Well, she got let go of her job in the past for being racist and also downplaying it. And she's trying to say that she went to a white college and all that. If you understand the history of the country, and I don't make this up, HBCUs were created because it was legalized segregation. My parents, aunt, uncles, and relatives were legally segregated from going to white colleges. Brown versus the Board of Education, that my all-time favorite Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall put in the legislation, and Thurgood Marshall is still the standard for Supreme Court justices. I'm sorry. It's him and then it's everybody else. When people don't know, they need to ask somebody before they say something asinine and dumb like Megyn Kelly. It wasn't always open. People don't understand the legalized genocide and apartheid that has happened in American educational school systems. School is in session now. My grandmother on my father's side experienced Jim Crowism. She was very light complected, but it didn't make no difference. Separate and unequal. It wasn't until 1964 that they passed the Civil Rights Bill Dr. King and all the others helped pass. People don't understand that legalized segregation was still, busing was still. So, and she went to Hampton Institute. It's now Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia. It was Hampton Institute, black college. Why? Because despite her complexion and her intelligence, wasn't allowed in the Ivy Leagues and these schools. See, when people like to downplay Jim Crow and racism and why reparations are needed, etc., and then they wonder why they say, well, we don't want woke in school. We don't want this. Do you know your history? Do you know why somebody had to go to an HBCU? Because they weren't accepted, but yet they're born and bred in a country that they have to pay taxes on? Make that make sense. And you only get 1 month to acknowledge your existence in history in school? Make that make sense, Megyn Kelly. So you have to sit here and someone's going to sit there and mock it and go, oh, she's going to get ripped. She should. See, I don't know, people claim to be intelligent, enlightened or something. They don't really know the history of how it was. Imagine you have grandparents who told you what they had to go through. Wasn't that long ago? You couldn't go to the bathroom in places. You couldn't go to a theater in places. You couldn't drink out the water fountain. Think about the simple things you take for granted. I went to high school in the 80s in Hampton, Virginia. I had relatives there in the 60s couldn't go to that school because of the color of their skin. So when I have to hear somebody like ignorance of Megyn Kelly come out here and pop off, and I don't really buy everything with Kamala Harris. I don't. But I will have to say this for her. She is real because she went to an HBCU because those were the options. And there weren't a lot of options. And if you're of a certain age, a certain time period, you know what that meant. And you know what it meant for your parents. Because if you're of a certain age, you can be just one generation or one removed chair from the legalization of Jim Crow, the legalization of separate but equal, and busing and everything else that goes along with it. A lot of people don't want to hear those facts. They don't want to hear the rhetoric that gets used to downplay those facts. There is no crying and there is no whining. This is a fact. Institutionalized systematic racism 101. Why HBCUs were created. Because it was illegal for you to learn the language, even though everything got took away from you. So, that's what Megyn Kelly got for dissing Kamala Harris for going to an HBCU. And when she sits up there and says that she went to a white college, well, they all funded financially, but you got that privilege. But people that were born here at a particular era in time did not have that luxury. But maybe her family was too ignorant to tell her the facts and the truth. Because there is this oblivious to what happens in Black world. It's been that way. It still goes on to this day. That is a reality of what happens. Because people don't really care what goes on in Black world until something happens in their world. And then they feel that, and then they're like, oh, whoa, why? And who and what? And then it comes and goes. That's why the unity ain't there, because if it was shared experience the way it should be, we would be a lot further along. But we're not, because it's still a separate but equal. When you have justice and just us, and you don't have the financial balance, but you had the head start, then you wonder why, your people get excited. Well, they say, well, it's like this now. You can't fall on your face in a sprint and then somehow get back up and hit the line and win. Because the line was never meant for you to win. And that's the reality. So when Kamala gives a shout out to that HBCU, that's the W. Because not that far removed, you didn't have but one option. And that's what Megyn Kelly will never know. And many folks will never know. They will never know what that's like to be openly, legally discriminated against. You got some grandparents, or you got some parents who were in that era before 1964, relatives, you need to ask them some questions. You need to ask them some questions, what that was like. That's why I love it. Megyn Kelly asked Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboys owner, about that picture outside at Arkansas school in 57, what that was about, to get the truth. Because the truth ain't been told. Please like, subscribe, book, and thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another shit if you like, and please hit that membership, because when you do, the views you request, I bring them back to you. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay focused, stay true, stay real, stay cool, stay calm, stay woke, stay asking questions. I'm back one time. Peace. I'm out.